just pulled up to the house. Don't feel like getting out. I'ma just lay back and crack this window. I've been doing my best, taking a moment to rest, feeling stressed out. Give it a good, I put that on God when it gets hard. I stay on my job like no days off, so you can go home with the negativity, with that broken mentality. Jump on jealousy, my bad. Get away from me, 'cause I've been working all day. Can I catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, catch a break, better way. Oh, Mom and Dad's only daughter, do I make you proud? Writing my life in lyrics, do you like the sound? Seeking approval constantly. When it's my truth I own, I speak it, don't make sense now. Give it a good, put that on good when it gets hard. I stay on my job like no days off, so you can go home to all that you do. It's only right, it's what I deserve. Love, tell me what you done for me, done for me, done for me, done for me lately. Did your mind go on vacation, leaving your affection for me at home? Tell me what you done for me, done for me, done for me, done for me lately. Where's your heart and your attention? Where's the kind of love that I used to know?
Try to turn you off, but you never had an off switch. Yeah. Trying to make you stop, girl, I wish you would've told me. Oh, had you in my bed, now you all up in my head. Never thought I'd feel so lonely. Wish I would've known, I wish you would've told me. But you don't wanna talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. You don't wanna talk about it. Try to take it slow, but you never had a low speed. Ay. And I've been feeling cold, thinking about the old me. Yeah, I'm out of my head, trying to deal with my emotions. I know what I felt when we dove into the sheets. Wish I would've known, I wish you would've told me. Told me. But you don't wanna talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. You don't wanna talk about it. You don't wanna talk about it. You don't wanna talk, babe. You don't wanna talk. You don't wanna talk. You don't wanna talk. But you don't wanna talk about it. Talk about it. Had you in my brain, now you're all up in my head. Never thought I'd feel so lonely. Wish I would've known, I wish you would've told me. Told me. You don't wanna talk about it. You don't wanna talk about it, baby. You don't wanna talk about it. Talk about it. You don't wanna talk about it. Yeah. Empty bottles of red wine laying on the floor from last night. We got a little drunk, yeah. Now I'm a little numb. Spending hours by your bedside, talking till it's dark out somehow. Can get you off my mind. Don't wanna say goodbye, bye, bye, bye. Maybe we should take it slow. I don't feel too comfortable jumping into something new right now. Yeah, I don't really know anymore how to feel something again. Think I'm just scared of falling. Don't wanna go all in.
All right. Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to another edition of AK on Fire. Tonight we have a good one for you. I'm being joined by the panel to discuss the Passport Bros. 2 weeks ago, I did a monologue on the Passport Bros and about some of the criticism that they were getting, not just from the sisters, but from some of the male YouTubers out here that were giving them starch criticism. So tonight, what we're going to look at whether or not the criticism is justified or the real roots of the criticism. We're going to dive into some talk about what the solutions may be to potentially mitigate the need for brothers to feel like they have to go overseas. And then finally, what are the larger implications writ large for the black community? Joining me now is, hold on one second, I have one more person. Joining me now is, there you go. Yeah, join me now from right to left. I have Aaron DeMogul. I have Stephanie from the Wife School, Mika, and Rico the Plug. All right. So let's go ahead and before I begin, let me start with a quick video of locals in Jamaica talking about women who travel down to Jamaica and what they do while they're down there. Give me 1 second. I want to plug this up. And what? I'll just start from here.
And girls love me, and I don't love body boy. I don't fucking ass here around here in Jamaica. We understand me? We love girls. Whether you're white, black, Indian, Chinese, we love girls.
There's some crazy people come down here in Jamaica. Like, for instance, from America, from all these places, yeah? A girl would come down here, 4 o'clock, for instance, in Manchester Bay. She reach in the grill, 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock roughly, yeah? And then, 7 o'clock on the beach, she will be giving a blowjob. You know? A day after, she will be fucking another man. And she probably come down here for 2 weeks. And for 2 weeks, one girl leave to visit Jamaica, and she will be fucking 5 men. So now you tell me.
Jamaica?
Okay, so according to Reuters, you have 80,000 women from North America travel to Jamaica, only to Jamaica, right? And a good percentage of them are from the United States, and they go down there to engage in sex tourism. I think I was reading some statistics. It said like 24,000 women worldwide travel to the Caribbean and third world for sex tourism, and about 8,000 of those are American, right? In terms of like marrying, men from non-Western countries, I would think the number was somewhere around 10,000, and 3,500 American women brought back husbands or fiancés from non-Western world. So I want to start with you, Aaron. I'm gonna start with you, and I want you to tell me, what are your thoughts when you hear a lot of these women complain or criticize men for traveling abroad, knowing that they do the same thing?
All right. Well, number one, I'm actually a full-time passport bro. I live full-time in Dominican Republic. I also had lived in the Philippines, so I met men of all different races and backgrounds and income levels that live here, that visit here. And I feel a lot of the negativity that comes from women in America is, number one, there are some gentlemen that have the whole, I never had money before, now I'm having, so now look at me, bling, bling, bling. Those are like the passport pookies, which they exist. They exist. But it's like going to the strip club and I see a black woman spinning around on a pole, and I leave out the strip club and I say, oh, all women that dance are strippers. You know what I'm saying? So you always going to have passport pookies. You're going to have the same thing in any movement. Any movement, you're going to have the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
I feel like there's not enough attention being brought to men that really come down here looking for love. Like I'm literally was just drinking with a man that says, look, bro, I'm living through you. I'm loyal to my girl. And this is a Dominican girl we're talking about. He doesn't even have the urge to engage in activities down here, knowing he wants to be, faithful to his girl. So I feel like a lot of it is ignorance. Most women, when they come to these countries, they never leave the resort. How do I know? I live here. Most of the women are scared to go off the resort. And when they do go off the resort, they're going off with a young island boy. That's usually when I do see the women leave the resorts. They left with like an island boy or, let me show you around. And it's just something, right? Because a lot of Dominican, so in Dominican Republic, we have Haitian and Dominican men. So women get a choice down here. You want a black buck, or do you want little spicy Mario? You know what I mean? You got choices down here. And what women always tell me, I'm like, how did this poor guy get in your pants? Like, what? He barely speaks English. Like, how did he? Oh, he took me on this romantic, beach walk and all this, horseback stuff that women like. I don't freaking know. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that there are many women who engage in this. I feel like if anything, they do it, if not an equal amount, more. They do it more because a lot of it is older white women that are divorced, and they come down here and they go to Africa and they go to Jamaica, anywhere where they can find them big black bucks at for the low. That's where they going. And I feel like we need to draw more attention to the men that's marrying these women. I met families down here, mixed babies. I met black Filipino babies. I met black Dominican babies, black Colombian, and no one shows that. No one is showing videos of these black men playing with their little half Dominican baby at the park. No one is showing how Christmas is down here with all these guys that, they like got families down here and can't live down here, but they down here every birthday, every Christmas, and it works for them. Because the only other option these women have in these countries is the motorcycle guy who makes $2 a day. So I think so it's like women always talk about, love women and women empowerment. But where's the empowerment for the melanated woman in other countries? It seems like you only want empowerment for melanated women in our country, where there's actually less black women at. There's more black women in South America and Central America than there is in the States. And if you know your history on the slave trade, most black women went to Brazil. So when you see Austin going down to Brazil and he hates America, bro, that's where most of our ancestors went. So if you really want to get to the source of where black women are at, they're more black down there than they are in the States. So that's just my insight on it. It's ignorance. It's a lot of women never came down here and experienced because they think this is the hood and you'll get your head chopped off and stuff. I feel more safer here than I do in the States. So that's my input on it, bro.
Okay. You guys chime in. Go ahead, popcorn style.
All right. I think when I think about women doing this, it's like the term that I heard a comedian say, that men are dogs, but girls are cats, because they cover up their poop, right? They cover up their poop and they do things in silence. So you'll never know, because women are good at hiding it. That's why we don't see or hear anybody really talking about it. And even if they did talk about it, you will always have the entourage in the background saying, oh, girl, live your life. Now we got movies about it, how Stella got her groove back. It's a glorified thing. Oh, she was down and out. Now she found a nice Jamaican man or Dominican man, and that romantic horseback ride, and brought that vitality back. Now she can go back to corporate America. And you know what I'm saying? It's horrible. It's horrible. It's just a secret that's swept under the rug, just so that we can keep enabling this bad behavior, enabling women to do whatever they want, feel that they can do whatever they want. And then, I don't know, it's sad.
The reason why dating was illegal in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, because if a woman travels for sex, it is considered trafficking. Mm-hmm. Like, you could look that up. Like if back in the day, if I was to bring you from one state to another to engage in intercourse with you, I can go to jail, because that's trafficking. Mm-hmm. Because women wasn't even traveling by themselves until like all this stuff is recent. Women in the early 1900s couldn't say, "Oh, I'm just going to go to South Africa by myself." Like, where's your husband at?
Yeah.
I agree. I'd like to say what's up to Brother Aaron and Sister Stephanie.
Hey.
Sorry I came in late. I thought I was actually early for 8 o'clock, but I found out I'm late. So sorry I kept y'all waiting. What's up, Brother Abe and Mika? What's up? It's good to see you again. I say that what you just said all the time. All of this stuff, even dating, is all new. It's all new. They always say, "Oh, I want traditional men or whatever." Bro, we was not going out. We could barely get in restaurants 50 years ago, like 70 years ago. So you know that all that stuff is all fake and stuff. You know what I mean? You had your people who, you had people who flew around the world in the airplane. You got that Amelia Earhart. You had was that Amelia Earhart? I think that
yep.
Tour. I think she did a motorcycle tour too.
Yep.
And you had your people like that. But that wasn't common. You had singers, Josephine Bakers and stuff but that wasn't the norm. Also, I think that women get a lot of credit for being stealthy or covering their tracks. So you mentioned that, right? But I think it's kind of like if you were if a woman was riding down the street and she got a flat, every guy that she speaks to, every guy in her phone, all of her male friends or whatever would hear about it. But if a guy rode down the street and he got a flat, he would never talk about it, right? So, I'm going to compare that flat to, things that women put men through. Most men don't talk about the stuff that they go through at the hands of women. It's just like a flat tire. We just got to deal with it. You know what I mean? We got to go to work. We just got to deal with it.
Yes.
If a man thinks his woman's cheating, he ain't about to tell nobody. It's a lot of stuff like women who, he ain't gonna tell the homies his lady went to Jamaica and got broke off by Stedman. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? He gonna be like, "Oh, it was me, dog. I should have paid her more attention." He's not about to say that. So, so Stella gonna get a little more credit for being a virtuous woman or being good at covering her tracks or whatever. It ain't that. It ain't that men aren't able to be just as clever as women. We just it just looks that way because we don't talk about the stuff that women do. But we've been knowing, that Stella been getting her groove on since, before the movie. Eddie Murphy talked about it, and he said, "Don't let your lady go to Africa." You know what I mean? Because he was talking about back in the Delirious days. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even just that. It's not even just that. Another big secret that a lot of men, every man on the Zoom is going to be able to agree with me on this. When you were in your early 20s or your late teens, what was the oldest woman you had a sexual experience with?
Uh-oh. Yeah. I thought I was macking on this 40-year-old. She worked at the bank on M Street. She was 40-something. I was like 20. And I talk trash to her. I think I talked about this on another podcast, but I talk all the time, every time I went in there. And I never thought she would take me up on it, right? So I just got more and more cocky when I said it out my mouth, right? And I was working at I think Urban Sports Shop. It was on M Street, downtown, long time ago. And one day I was running my mouth in there, and she said, she crossed her legs, she sat back, she said, "What time you get off work?" Oh, bro, I turned pink in that joint, but yeah, but it wasn't no turning back. She was there. I couldn't get out. I wanted to, but I had to get in the car with her. You know what I mean? The boy was watching. I got in the car. So 40. She was twice my age. it was a big thing, you know.
AK, how about you? How about you?
Hold on one second. I want to bring Mika in real quick. Like Mika,
okay.
What are your thoughts about women who travel abroad and they go get it in? I mean, I don't think most men are judging. Hey, if that's what you do, that's what you do. But it seems like now that the shoe is on the other foot, you know, everybody has something to say about it. What are your thoughts about that, Mika?
Well, I think, you know, the wise Ludacris said, what did he say? There's hoes in different area codes, right? It don't matter how far you travel, okay? If you hoeing, you hoeing, and it's just hoeing, period, right? We need to stop trying to creatively finesse it to be, oh, it happens in Vegas, it stays in Vegas. It happens in the DR, it stays in the DR. If you a hoe here, you a hoe there, you a hoe everywhere. It's kind of like what like Dr. Seuss. There's a hoe here. You can hoe on the train. You can hoe in the plane. You can hoe over here. You can hoe over there. Okay. I think that, and also I think that women who enable other women to do this.
Yes.
Are a true detriment to our society. Yes. I think that this promotion of I'm going to go do this over here where my man can't find out, you're no better than your man who cheats in the same area code. It's all the same thing, right? And I think we have a culture of women making allowances for hoe tendencies in other places as long as they don't happen close to home. And I think there's a whole bunch of justification that goes into this hoeing in other places because women are big on being embarrassed. And I can even say that for myself. When I was married for 10 years, I really honestly did not care what he did. But when it affected me or when it affected my household or when it happened in my household or something like that, I really had a problem with it. But regardless of where it happens, it's still a problem, is what I would say, right? So if a woman is doing it in another place and she feels like it's not going to get back, it's still speaking to her character. It still means that if you get the right opportunity in the States, you're going to seize it. And that same woman is probably screwing on a coworker, right?
Work husband.
Right.
Well, again, you
never heard work wife before. It's work husband.
That's bullshit. I wish I would ever say I got a work husband and I got a husband at home. Are you crazy?
Yeah, I'm not having it.
Did you snort before you went to work? Right?
I'm not having it.
Because how the hell you gonna have a husband at work and you got a husband at home? But again, that's our society. Our society has these nuances that we just take for granted. Like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not okay. I wish the fuck you would have a work wife and I'm your wife. Right? I wish the fuck you would have a work husband and you got a whole husband at home. I've never supported that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, like I say, a hoe is a hoe in any area code, period.
There you go.
Right. Again, the numbers, when I looked at the numbers, it said that 1 out of 7 of the women who travel abroad and engage in like sexual activities are married. Now, obviously, this is just those who actually report, who are honest about it, because sometimes women are not honest about it. And so, to your point again, it makes me think about the whole. I mean, recently DJ Envy's wife left him with the kids and went overseas for 20 days to the Caribbean on a girls' trip. And, I think it's hard to believe that they're going to the Caribbean or wherever they're going for 20 days and there's not going to be some extracurricular activities.
That's a long time, bro.
A very long time.
If she stayed at her sister's house for 20 days, something I don't know.
That's something you do when your relationship is having problems. Like, yo, let me just, 20 days.
That's too long.
Right.
You know business, you're not in the military, but if you could stand to be away from me for 20 days just off GP, you might as well just go ahead and get the divorce. right? Because like I feel you should miss me before 20 days.
Oh yeah.
That's what I think.
But even regardless of the marriage, also, how can you be away from your kids for 20 days?
As
And she got
a
young
mother,
kids. They
as a
got young
mother,
kids.
yeah. That's
How
a
the hell
mother.
can
That's
you be away
crazy.
from your kids for 20 days and say you any type of mama? Because a lot of times women put motherhood above partnership anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
But
You know
they
what I'm
should.
saying? They put their kids above the man. So
Yeah.
if we're
they
looking
should.
at majority of women who say they love their kids to death, oh, you know, they'll die for their kids or whatever. How are you away from your family unit for 20 days period and you not feeling some type of way about it? That don't even make any sense. It just makes no sense.
Right.
But he's gonna promote. What kills me is that I actually saw that. So they are actually promoting that about her being gone for 20 days, like as if it's setting the standard that men should be allowing their wives to go away for 20 days. Like,
You know,
DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God are both simps, so I would never take like marriage advice from them. They're both simps.
I think some people like sugar and grits, some people like salt. You can promote that, and it may work for a certain set of people.
Right.
It ain't gonna work for me. Time talking to me about it, we not just go ahead and break up. Because if you think you're gonna do that, or if you think you're gonna soften me up, you're gonna play the waiting game. You're gonna get a certain amount invested, and you think that I'm just gonna have that. Nah, you're gonna come back. I'm gonna all the way move. It's gonna be a real estate sign in the yard or something. Like it's gonna be a sign. You're gonna move. Papers gonna be waiting for you somewhere.
I want us. Okay, real quick, and then Stephanie. Stephanie, go ahead, and then I'll go ahead.
Okay. No, I was saying I was talking about this with another person, and DJ Envy at one point, cheated on his wife, and you know how sometimes females, they'll hold on, they won't forget, they will not forget, and they won't let you live it down, but they'll use opportunities to really make you pay, rub it in your face. This is what you did. So I'm about to go over here and you can't say nothing to me because you don't did what you did. I love you. So I believe that's what it was.
That's who he is though, because I mean, like if you took DJ Envy away from his wife and then you put her in a room full of men, would she get another DJ Envy? You know what I mean? Because so if you're not gonna like leave and upgrade, then you just gotta take it on the chin if your spouse cheat on you. I don't care if it's the husband or the wife. Like if my wife cheat on me and I know I can't get better, then even if I leave her, even if I do leave her, I'm gonna leave her with somebody who had sex with somebody last week anyway. You know what I mean? Like.
Right.
I mean,
like
so.
Yeah, it's not a lot of purity out there. Hey, I want to play this clip, but before I do, let me set it up. So, the sister there's an interview with a sister named Bianca Williams, Dr. Bianca Williams. She's a PhD. She's a professor at the City University of New York. And she's also the author of a book called The Pursuit of Happiness, Black Women, Diasporic Dreams, and the Politics of Emotional Transnationalism. And in the book largely argues that pursuing happiness is a political project for Black women, that most Black women, majority of Black women don't believe that they can find happiness here in America, that it's not available to them within the U.S. borders. She cites reasons such as white supremacy, racism, and a bunch of other isms. And so she says they go abroad where they can find happiness. She says that Black women are invested in finding places that they have access to happiness, and they use the capital there to find happiness there. Let's play this clip.
One of the things I love about this book, and you talk about it in the first chapter, when we think about political projects, we think about land, we think about money, the power to vote. You talk about happiness as a political project. Unpack that for a moment.
Sure. So the book is argument that pursuing happiness is a political project for Black women, inspired by Melissa Harris Perry's Sister Citizen and the work that she's doing in that text, really laying out the fact that the state, the government, doesn't have our best interests in mind. Right. Our misrecognition is central to how the U.S. operates politically, economically, et cetera. And also inspired by Audre Lorde's revolutionary statement around self-care. And what I saw from these women, I didn't go into the field studying happiness. I actually went into the field ready to study diasporic relationships between African Americans and Jamaicans. But what kept happening is that the women would stop me. They would say, I'm happy here. There was a lot of happiness dialogue. And so when I came back from the field and looked at my data, it was happiness that stood out. And so the argument is that these women are very clear that happiness is not available to them within the U.S., within these national borders. And though it seems to be an inalienable right for some people, it's not for all of us because of our racialized and gendered positionalities. And so they're invested in kind of finding where they do have access to happiness and how they can use the capital here to find it somewhere else.
Right. So
thank God. Tearing that shit off.
Right. So the premise of a book is that since Black women can't find happiness here in America, even though you have all these available Black men here for them to marry, they can't find happiness here, so they're going to other countries like Jamaica and the Dominican Republic to find it. Now, again, I beg to ask the question, like, how is this any different from what the Passport Bros are saying, that they are traveling to go overseas because they're looking for happiness? So my question is, why is it that some people believe that women's happiness is more valid than men's happiness?
Can I go on this one? Because I'm gonna quote Mr. Leggo on this one.
Yeah.
Because women are children. That's why they need happiness. That she literally sounded like a grown child. Like, we just need to be happy. That's how kids talk. I
believe they're happy though.
But here's the thing though. Marriage, all right. So it's more of a stoic mindset that I have, right? Mm-hmm. I don't focus on being happy. I don't focus on being sad. I always try to ride that fine line in the middle because it's literally your happiness is all your perception. I can get a big good meal and be like, but I think he like sweated on it a little bit, so I don't like this. Like, or I could say, you know what? I haven't ate in 12 hours. This is about to be a good meal. And I feel like Disney Channel, movies, cinema, fairy tales destroy the woman's idea of what happiness is. There is no such thing as a Prince Charming. You know why? Because I'm a military veteran, right? So I studied the history of war. Most men were too busy out there fighting freaking wars to be freaking bringing you flowers and shit and making you feel happy. Life has never been about being happy. It's about survival. It's about keeping lineage going on. If the world was about being freak happy, we'll all be dead right now. And that's why it's a book I really want a lot of people to read. It's called Good Times Make Weak Men and Hard Times Make Strong Men. And the reason why you see all these men, I'm not going to go on a tangent right now, but the reason you see what you see right now, because we're seeing too many good times. Y'all focus on being happy and not surviving. And that's why when the next catastrophe happened, no one's going to be ready for it. Because we were too busy chasing happiness and not surviving.
Yeah, let me tee off on what he's saying too, though. I agree with that because we live in a place where a woman would say out of her mouth, I don't want a man to pay 50% of the bills. I could be poor by myself. I don't know what kind of math that is, ma'am. But if somebody want to come up in this joint and pay half my bills, let me know. Ma'am, I don't know what type of math you came up with. Half of something is more than all of nothing. If he gonna pay half, he can just go. I'd rather myself. I don't know what kind of math that is, because to me, half is quite an upgrade. And he goes some of the dishes, and I mean, Yeah, Lee, and he might take out the trash all the time.
And he gotta protect you if burglars break in the house.
Yeah.
And if you get a flat, he gonna get up off the couch and come get you. Come.
Right.
Sheesh.
Right.
You be paying the dude to stay there. You gotta pay. You gotta pay that ring cam. You gotta pay for that subscription.
But they cats and dogs can live with them for free though.
Mm-hmm.
You'll take care of a cat and a dog, but you won't take care of your man.
They're gonna pay. They're gonna take care. They're
Hello.
gonna take care of that island boy too.
That island boy. Island boy.
They're gonna take care of that island boy.
Island boy.
Oh, down here in DR, you got the stepmoms coming down here that's taking care of these Dominican men kids. You know what? I always like kids. He already has a couple of them. Oh, listen.
Wait, back up for a second, Aaron. So are you telling me that you're not telling me that sisters from America going down there playing stepmommy, are you?
The only reason why I don't want to dive into it too much, because one of them is my friend, and it's like, you marry a guy who don't speak English, and he has 3 kids. And he's a garbage man in the Dominican Republic. So imagine being a garbage man in the States. He's a garbage man in the Dominican Republic, and I went to the wedding and everything. I'm like, yo, I gotta see this. And
yeah, she put a ring on it.
This is the thing, and Mika, I'm gonna jump to you and then to you, Stephanie. This is the thing that I really don't understand. A guy in America who is a sanitation worker probably makes anywhere from $75,000 to $95,000 a year, and you don't want to deal with a guy like that, but you will go overseas and mess with someone from the DR. Or Jamaica, like Jamaica, their minimum wage is, what is it? It's something like 9,000 Jamaican dollars a week, which is like $57.82. So $57.82. So you're dealing with somebody that's making what, less than $240 a month, but you feel like a guy making $50,000 or $60,000 a year is a bum. I mean, help me understand that. Mika, go ahead and chime in.
I don't understand.
Well, no, I think it has to do with power, right? I think it has to do with power. I think that women know that they can exude more power over a trash man from DR than they can a trash man here, right? Mm-hmm. And so the power dynamic is all leverage, right? Because there's no way that I'm going to go across to countries, right? Other countries, and end up with a trash man. If a trash man here ain't good enough.
Whoa.
No, honestly.
Okay, I got you.
If I'm going to the DR, than me, okay? If I'm going to choose a DR man, if I'm going to choose a Brazilian man, if I'm going to choose a man, trust and believe it's going to be a doctor or some shit like that. Like, because if you think about it, what doctors make in comparison to what trash men make here may almost be equal because the pay is less. You feel me?
Right.
So
Yeah,
what the hell makes me think that a trash man here ain't good enough for me? But then I go to the DR and then a trash man is good enough. It's all power dynamics. Mm-hmm. It's because a trash man there, I can run him, right? A trash man there, just like they say, they want to get mad that black men like exotic women. Women like exotic men as well. Mm-hmm. So basically you are becoming a collector, right? You are getting a man who's finer than you'll ever get in the States, the same way as men, honestly. Right. This man wouldn't even blink at you. He'd probably smash you, but he definitely ain't gonna stay with you. He definitely ain't gonna take you home to mama. So now you're going over there and now all of a sudden you got a man that's gonna say, I do. It's no different than these men that's leaving America and that's going to other places and getting gorgeous women that they would never even be able to blink at here. It's the same thing.
Right.
Well,
totally agree. And like, we don't feel like we want to settle for the garbage man, but he's a good dude.
Right.
And I just don't know, like he said, Aaron was talking about chasing a feeling and Abraham talking about the happiness. It's just this fleeting thing. It's just so fleeting and it's so superficial. And I don't know why women do that. I just, for the life of me.
I could tell you. they are chasing a crack high. Right.
Yeah.
The pursuit of happiness is chasing a crack high, you know, and it's a never ending journey. You feel happy at one moment, and then at some point, you know, that high is unsustainable. So you chase the next high. And so it's just an ongoing. That's why you can have so many women leave their marriages or in their marriages because they're not happy. I mean, you have women who go out and get all these, get into a lot of debt, chasing degrees because they think getting a degree will make them happy. And then they want this six-figure job, and then they realize that, man, I hate my job. You know, so now you got all this debt. It's just a never-ending pursuit of happiness. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut in, but go ahead.
They lied to us and we took bait.
Women pursue happiness, men pursue peace. I don't care about happy. Do I got bullets flying around me?
That's what we find.
I'm cool. I'm cool.
Yeah.
As long as no one trying to get me.
Happiness.
As long as no one trying to get me and I'm not in prison, I'm good.
Right.
Woman, you want a chandelier, you want all this sex. Men don't need all that.
Men are not pursuing peace now, though. Men are pursuing toxicity at the same high level that women are now. I mean, just being honest.
Why do you say that?
Tell me more.
They are literally pursuing like men. I'm gonna say this: men are so used to dysfunctional women and women that pretend to be something that they are not, that when presented with something that is authentic, most men cannot even see to the challenge. Like, they cannot even conceptualize that you would actually even be telling them the truth. They run from truth.
Well, I don't
They
think
want to lie as well. Like, men are in it, and this is what blows my mind. Men of today are in just as much of a fairy tale land as women are. It's at epic proportions, and it's the saddest thing I've ever seen in this life.
Okay, tell me more. Tell me more.
That means that Black men believe that it's 6 Black women to every 1 man, right? I went on all kind of places, and I'm like, who told you this? Why do you believe this? It's 6 women to every man. But on top of that, right? So even if we go by the idea that it's 6 women to every man, I'd say 4 out of 10 men is really women anyway because of their behavior. So now we have 10 women to every man.
But you so mean, Mika.
No, but okay, so Mika, then if you have, like, the more women you have, right? All right, if the sex ratio is that imbalance, wouldn't that be in favor of the men? I mean, theoretically, that would be in favor of the men. I think the issue is that women who feel like I think for a lot of women who feel like they're even halfway decent looking, they got a great body, I think they believe that their job and their education puts them over the top, right? And so that's part of the issue. I mean, Kevin Samuels had mentioned this before, that, I mean, you know, you think like a man. That's how a man thinks. These women are out here thinking like providers. You know, I mean, that's provider think. I mean, if you're not willing to provide for a man, then why even bring up your 6-figure job, and why even bring up your education? Like, most men don't care. I got my own money. You know,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Because basically you are positioning yourself as a provider, but then you're expecting a man to make more than you actually make, which makes no sense, because the only men that are going to appeal to you are men who are willing to be taken care of, which is exactly
or make more
that you want.
Right.
Or they have to make even more than you make.
Right.
Yeah.
But can I interject real quick? So I started doing research, right, on the income gaps between men and women and stuff like that. And one thing let's talk about supply and demand, right? When women got their rights and they started working the same jobs as men, right? You know what that did to the market? All the men that could have took care of you and paid your bills, they're now competing against you with the same jobs.
Right.
So when y'all come for these men that say they don't make enough, stop taking all our damn jobs and then we can get paid more. Right. But what if all women right now with kids, let's just talk about women with kids, women with kids, women that's married, told their bosses, you know what? Screw this job. What everybody hates Chris' mom used to say, my man got 3 jobs. And she would leave, right? I love that part of the show.
Right.
That's a real fucking man. I got 3 jobs. My woman works here because she wants to.
Right.
So what if women said, you know what? Could get a degree and be a CEO and all that. But that's another job another man cannot take and provide for a woman. So what if the single moms, well, not single moms, the mothers and the wives step down from these positions? Think about how much more money men would make because there's more opportunities out here. I've lost jobs to women before because they were willing to work for less money than me.
Right.
And that's why all this, women are not being treated fairly in the workplace. That's the hell y'all do. You know how many times I got reported to HR because I said something about your hair that you didn't like, and you went to report me to HR and shit like that. And like, I've been lied to on women to HR so many times. So all that unequal in the workplace, I ain't trying to hear that. Take your asses home. Let men fill in those jobs that y'all just left vacant and watch how much we make money and y'all don't got to pay bills. Problem solved.
But you know,
they don't want to give it up. They don't want to give up that power, all that hard work, that degree. They don't want to give it up.
But how is that power though? How is that
perceived power?
Getting up, going to work for 8 hours, as opposed to sitting at home saying, "Babe, can we get new curtains?" And the dude say, "All right, babe, well, I'm gonna have to work overtime next week." You know what I mean? How is going to work for 8 hours more power? You know what I mean? I don't get that.
Well, you know, and I'm sorry, I just want to interject real quick. A lot of it has to do with the fact that many women are bullied into not wanting to stay home. And if you are a woman and you want to stay at home, I mean, and Mika, you've heard them on Clubhouse. If a woman is a stay-at-home mom, they call her a mammy, a pick-me. They try to tell her that your man is going to leave you. It's the same tactics that they used back in the 60s. If anybody's familiar with the feminist pioneers, the second wave feminists like Betty Friedan and Simone de Beauvoir, you know that was the thing. They used to call women who stayed home, they called them parasites. Right. Wow. So yeah, they tried to shame women. They bullied a lot of women and made women feel bad for wanting to stay home.
You know what men call women who stay home?
Wife.
Honey.
Wife, yeah. Right.
You know how a man feels when I ask you, "Where's your wife?" His first response, "She's at home." When you say, "Oh, I think she's at work," and she's
no. How about this?
My woman's at home.
How about she's pulling a double shift? She's pulling a double shift.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, she getting a double all right.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I want to play. Let me resume this clip again. This is a clip of Dr. Bianca Williams. And in the interview, she's talking again. She's the author of The Pursuit of Happiness, and in this clip, she's going to talk about the influence of how Stella got her groove back, and how the movie not only inspired a lot of Black women to travel, but it gave them permission to travel, whether solo or whether in groups. So let's take a look.
To me about these women was that a lot of them are kind of lower middle class, somewhat unstable middle class. So postal workers, high school guidance counselors,
right?
Yeah,
Black aspirational class,
exactly. Right. So they're not the lawyers, the doctors, right. The professors who have in theory disposable income. We can talk about that later. They work really hard for their money, and their trips to Jamaica are sacrifices. Like, they save a lot of time and money to do it. They were aware of the disproportionate kind of power dynamics and class differences between them and Jamaican women, but I don't know that they spent a lot of time really teasing it out. And one of the chapters is me kind of analyzing this diaspora triangle, so African-American women who may or may not be looking for sex but are really enjoying being the object of desire or the desirable in Jamaica from Jamaican men. What are Jamaican men getting out of this kind of relationship? And the fact that these women are going to Jamaica, and in some ways, just because of the way tourism as an industry is set up, are making Jamaican women invisible in the ways that they are invisible in the U.S. Absolutely. Right? And so whether intentionally or not, kind of doing to Jamaican women what they are experiencing in the U.S. So there was some acknowledgement of it. I'm not sure they spent a lot of time teasing that out.
Why Jamaica in that context? And as an extension, why the Jamaican man?
Yeah. Oh,
in that?
good.
Yeah, why the Jamaican man?
So I think Stella, both the movie and the film, have a huge influence. So when I tell people what I studied, they assume that these women are Stellas, right? And so we have to tease that. I think it's more complicated than that.
Teaching this book to my undergraduates, none of them had seen the movie.
Oh my gosh.
So it's like they had no reference for it. It's like, no, Tay Diggs was
Now
like
I
a
do feel
little.
old.
Tay Diggs literally looks like a little boy. It's like,
Yeah, he's super young in that movie. So for them, like Stella, it wasn't that they wanted to be Stella, but there was this idea that Stella gave permission for Black women to travel alone and travel in groups and can do leisure, right? There was this like, you know, we have experienced a lot of pushback from our families and friends on being selfish enough to experience leisure. And the story, the fairy tale of Stella, the fantasy of Stella gave them permission to do that. So Stella gives them permission. And then once they're there, Jamaica is about being in a predominantly Black space. So being able to escape, maybe even momentarily, white American racism and white gaze. And to be able to interrogate some of these power dynamics. This idea that we have a shared history of transatlantic slave trade with Jamaican people. Some people would say that they felt like their spiritual home was Jamaica. So in thinking about transatlantic slave trade, the stop in Jamaica meant that people were able to hold on to African culture better than we were in the U.S., that these things were really erased from us in the U.S. And so going to Jamaica is both a fantasy and a paradise and a release, but also a deep connection to something that they feel like culturally they cannot access here.
Right.
That's crazy.
Before I even go on, how did you like the fact that when they talked about lower middle class, they call it the aspirational class when it's women, but when you're talking about lower class for brothers, they're like broke dusties that need to stay in America, and need to focus on themselves. What'd you think about Harold? What'd you think about that?
Okay, so all right. Like I said, I'm kind of on the dark side with stuff, so I might say some cringy stuff. So here's the thing, right? I've been a rich man and I've been a poor man, and I just noticed when you have money or you have like that leverage and that power dynamic over. I live in Dominican Republic, right? I could come down here making $50,000 a year and I'm a freaking millionaire down here. So imagine if I'm doing good financially in the States and I come down here.
Right.
And I feel like it goes back to what Mika said. So I feel like men want power and women want control. I don't necessarily think women want power. Like they want to rule a whole city and state and conquer. It's more of, I want to control the man who does have the power over the countries. Because when I watch movies like The Barbarian and stuff like that, and I see how much like these queens had influence over the kings, I noticed that it was never the queens that wanted power. They just want control over things. So I feel like when women go to those countries, right? Okay, yeah, you do good in the States, but down here, you could literally buy somebody. Like if you ever want to witness slavery, come to a country like this with $10,000. You can own somebody for a year, for sure. So I'm not mad at it because it's a money thing. It has nothing to do with race or sex. It's money. It's power. It's the fact that you haven't ate good in 3 months and I can make sure you eat good for the next 10 years. So now you're mine now. And I feel like we all, by human nature, men desire power, women desire control. But the control that they call you our gringas. The control the gringas have over these foreign men, you could probably put a chain on a thing and they can take them on walks. So that's how I feel more about like the income part. I feel like it's this natural human nature. I'm not really mad at that part. I'm just mad. Honestly, the only thing that really bothers me is just that I feel like they picked the one cringy looking guy, and there's no shots at Austin, but they picked the one guy who's basically using clickbait and using gaslighting as a way to get his YouTube channel up. And they choosing that man to be the face of Passport Bros. That's the only part where it gets bad. Just like Stella is the face of Passport Girls or Passport whatever. I feel like they made Austin the face of Passport Bros. Like I can't say the Stella movie speaks for all black women that travels, just like people can't say people like Austin speaks for all men that travel. But me personally, I like my women less wealthier and more poor than I am, because I need you to have some fear that if you leave me, your life will be ruined. All right, with black women, the reason why it's so easy for y'all to leave us, because y'all lives get better when y'all leave. You get child support, you get alimony, you get these simpy ass stepdads that want to come in your life. Like, think about the mindset of a man that wants to raise another man's child. Like, why do these stepdads get so much praise? They're simps. You're raising someone else's kid that's going to scream at you. You're not my daddy. You can't hit me. You can't punish me. So I feel like with a black woman, you always feel like it's always another chapter. Versus you're a Muslim woman in a Muslim country, your husband leaves you, you might as well be on the streets. And I feel like having that, how can I put this? Because you shouldn't be with a man out of fear, but there should be that kind of balance in a relationship. Like, I do want to scream at him, but if I do, I could be homeless, so I'm going to shut up. When a woman believes that no matter what she says to her man, she gonna be good regardless, watch how much of this you hear. See, that's why we can't smack y'all up no more. We can't shake y'all. Listen, y'all need to be shook up sometimes. And like I said, I might say some stuff that's cringy, but some of y'all need to get shook up. I'm not saying punch y'all up or something like that, but it's so funny how women always say they like a man to take charge and tell them what to do and all that. Yeah, that revolves a little shaking. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Shake you a little bit. See, that, look, you've been shooken before. So your man shook you before?
I would say make her a little moist right there. He was like, I remember getting shook. I laid that thing down on him after that.
I'm gonna say this. I think we've gotten to. It's a sad point. There was a time that you could have men step up, and it wouldn't be a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. I think
it was necessary though.
Right. I mean, but going all the way back from slavery, because you would have situations where a child's father would get lynched, or a child's father would be sold, yes. And we understand. And we understand. Oh. Especially no group of people more than black people understand of having that balance between male energy and female energy, right? Because women can't do it alone. I mean, if they could, the black community wouldn't be in the shape that it's in. But yes. the problem is that women will leave a good man with the expectation that somebody else is going to come in and rescue the day. And then when she gets tired of him, she'll leave him hanging. And in some cases, you'll have the stepfather who will take care of the kids. And the moment she gets tired or feels like she has a better option, she will leave him and will not allow the kids to see him. Right. Even though he's formed a bond with him. So now we've gotten to a point where now men are shaming other men, calling them simps, because that really isn't manly. Normally, men are not penis police. We don't give a shit what another man does. If it works for you, it works for you. But men are now shaming other men because they're trying to curtail this behavior, right? They're trying to police this behavior. And so I think, I don't want to get too deep into it. I think that's the beauty of this whole passport bro movement, because I do feel like it's there's a shift in discourse, but go ahead, Stephanie. I know you were getting ready to say something. I just wanted to throw that in real quick.
I don't forgot, because I was getting shook.
Well, I wanted to say something. Yeah, that shaking thing got her all bothered. But look, check it out though. I don't think that every dude that enters into, I don't even think the majority of dudes who enter into that type of agreement enter into it because they just want to take care of somebody else's kid though. But that's the way it gets painted. I myself have accepted those type of arrangements before, but I accepted it even though I wasn't looking for it. Like, I've been in situations where if you just told me about a person on paper, I would say hell no. Like, I don't want nothing to do with that woman. But meeting that woman and seeing her spirit of cooperation or something like that, then made me say, okay, well, you know, I don't want to deal with a woman with X amount of children, but if she's going to act like this, as opposed to Cherie and Kiki and all of them, like, wait, what? Then cool. What often happens though is that once they get, you know, their anchors in, then they start acting like, you know, Kiki and them, and then that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, I'm in that situation now. Sorry, where I did get divorced from my husband after some time, but we just never came back together. I tried, you know, but I wanted to see his actions and his consistency, which I think, you know, would make me submit to this whole, you know, situation getting better, but I just didn't see it. So I was like, well, you know, it is what it is, and I probably have to accept that my marriage has failed. So on the back end, you know, sitting and listening to Kevin Samuels, it was like he was for the Black community, but I know that he wasn't like necessarily endorsing, like, you know, men to take over. He said that it was like a bad deal for men to step in as stepdads because they don't get respect. But I didn't raise my children to be like that, or, you know, disrespectful, but you never know what can happen. But it's like me in my situation, well, how can I be, you know, submissive or a feminine woman so that a man would, you know, maybe look my way or maybe take me out or maybe take me on in my situation, but I would never put, you know, like a full burden on that man, you know what I'm saying? Because they are my children, and I would just like, you know, just be so thankful that somebody would spend time with me or, you know, want to be a companion or things like that. But I don't know, it's tough. You got to compete because, you know, when you do have, you know, extra people there, it's something to consider, you know, and I don't blame a man that will do a double take and like we, you know, really have a hard time considering. And I mean, I don't know. It's hard.
Can I tell you experience from me being a stepfather before? I literally was dating this woman. She had a daughter that was about my daughter age, but I only got my daughter on the weekends, and we was living together, so I was seeing her daughter even when I was seeing mine. She even had the name I wanted to name my daughter. My name is Aaron, and her name was Ari. So I wanted to name my daughter that. So it was just like, wow, this little girl is perfect. And her dad was in jail her whole life. I was her first father figure. I taught this girl how to ride a bike. Still got videos of it in my phone. Used to read to her every night. Used to take her to the store with me, stuff like that. And when me and her mom, you know, we broke up, she was ripped out of my life. Right. I was so hurt. I was sending her Christmas gifts for the next 3 years while her mom was getting pummeled by all these other dudes. Right? So
did the same thing though, bro.
So the reason I can't do that no more, because y'all think men don't love y'all kid. Like, that's why I can't do it. I'm gonna love your kid too much.
Right.
Right. And then if it don't work out and you take this kid out of my life, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I spent more time with her than my own daughter. She was like mine. But when the mom said, "Oh, well, you're not serving my purpose no more," you paid the rent, got all my benefits. I paid the rent, made sure her daughter was good and all that. So once she was good and all that, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, stepdads get used a lot. Yeah. I see it happen so much, man. Yeah. So much. Dudes fall in love with these women, kids, and the woman, I really don't like him, but he's giving my kids a good life, so I just deal with it while I can. So talk about the women that use these simpy stepdads to get them all in their emotions because maybe they always wanted kids, or I know a stepdad dude that his kid died. Right. And he met a woman that had a kid that reminded him of his kid, and then you know what I'm saying. So what about that?
But see, here's the thing. Again, like I know a lot of brothers out there, like, oh man, you know, a simp, and that's because they want to make sure everybody's in line. But the truth of the matter is that men, black men specifically, are good-hearted people. Mm-hmm. To even think about it and consider another man's kid, you're a good-hearted person. And I think what happens is a lot of black men their kindness is taken for weakness, right? Yes. And so that's the reason why you have this backlash with men calling folks simps. Because again, most men don't care about where you stick your penis. That's your business. They don't care. But we're trying to, a lot of folks are trying to curtail this behavior because women are, a lot of women just tend to be out of line because they think they can always do better and that they feel like they're entitled to a man's support, even if they have 3, 4, 5 kids. And so
bro, it ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere, bro. We are not going to stop doing that. If that makes you a simp, then I'm the king of simps. I am. I am like right now, I probably have like 40 god kids. Really did. Yesterday, I spent 4 hours on the phone with my, my oldest non-related godchild. I spent 4 hours on the phone with my, he's pretty much like my son. His name is Antoine. But I was with his mother from when he was 6 months old till he was 7.
Damn.
And she decided that she wanted to deal with some other dude and she wanted Antoine to be closer to him. So from 7 to 14, she was trying to find another step.
So how did y'all have sexual relations and you end up the godfather? First of all, you like the uncle, okay? You like. You didn't get your shit in the mama sauce. So I mean,
okay. Well, let me just
with your story, but
no, it's okay. Okay, so you gotta settle on something. There's really no name for that. So, right when I started dating his mom, at first I didn't even know she had a child.
Mm.
So then I go out with her for like, probably only about like 2 or 3 months, and she came along right when I went through something, right? And so she witnessed something that I thought she should have, rolled out, right? I was like, why are you still here? And she hung in there, right? So then I was just like, all right, well, we might as well just, do this thing, And then she was like, well, she took me to meet her brother. And then when I went to her brother's house, that's where I met this kid. And I was like, well, whose baby is that? And everybody just got quiet. But anyway, so this baby, wasn't talking or nothing yet. I don't believe in lying to kids. I'd rather lie. I mean, I'd rather just tell the truth. If it's going to make me look corny, whatever it is, what it is. But I'm going to tell the truth. Right? So there was a choice to be made. Should this kid call me dad or whatever? And I was like, no. I'll raise him, I'll love him and all that stuff. But he has a father, and I made it my business to make sure he knew his father. But that didn't limit, how I treated him. But anyway, I want to get back to the part where 7 years later, his mom had, gotten, too good for me or whatever. Got too good for old boy because, old boy wasn't in the streets no more. And, my resources weren't the same. So when Antoine turned 14, a little before he turned 14, I saw his mother. I hadn't seen her in a while. And she was, like, I guess public transportation or whatever. And I said, hey, what's up? Let's catch up. Come on, let me give you a ride home. I gave her a ride home. Boom. Apparently, Antoine saw me drop her off, I guess, through the sunroof, which is crazy, right? Because, they had a balcony. And she said, oh, look, Antoine's on the balcony. And I said, I looked through the sunroof. I saw him, which they was like 6 stories up. But I didn't think he would know who I was. It's been 7 years. He's 14. I ain't seen him since he was 7. Whatever. She gave me a call and was like, she gave me a call like a week later. She said Antoine hadn't spoken to her for a week. And I said, what's going on? What do you want me to do? She said, he won't talk to me. She said he said he wants to talk to his godfather and That was, 16 years ago or something like that. 15 years ago. Antoine's 29 now. And so he's been back in my life ever since then. So sometimes it works out. And truthfully, it's not just stepfathers that get used, because real biological fathers just basically get used.
Oh yeah, but that's given. That's given. We already know that.
And the mothers rip the kids from them, and the kids don't talk to them. I know a whole lot of biological fathers that the kids don't talk to them,
right?
And all that stuff, and then the kids don't even know why they don't talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the mothers, and I'm gonna go to Ray. I'm gonna introduce Ray real quick, but a lot of times the mothers make these kids feel guilt if they want to see their fathers, or if sometimes the mother will try to turn their fathers against them. So if we're not together, then the kids are not going to be with you. You know what I mean? So it's what they call it. It's like when narcissism, what they call it, triangulation, right? You pit these folks against these other folks. But anyway, let me bring in Ray. Ray is back from Mexico. He was down there on assignment, and he has a lot that he wants to share about his experience down in Mexico. Ray.
Hey, wait. First of all, I gotta like to say, how's everybody doing, man? Is everybody all right today? Hey, man, long time no see a beautiful black people, man. That's what's up. Being and all that stuff. Hey, listen, I have something.
Bien. Oh my gosh. How did you go over there? You can't even say bien right. Oh,
I shock the shit out you. If I start talking Spanish to you, I shock the shit out you. Now don't make me get at you. Now I will. Hey, anyway, hey man, I got, first of all, my assignment being over for 5 days ish, and I told my manager not to send me home. I'm going to sit here if we didn't have another assignment. So I've been there a good 4 or 5 days after the job was over. Guadalajara is beautiful. It has a lot of beautiful stuff. This is the thing, man. I'm sad and I'm amazed at the same time when I went to Guadalajara, because the women, listen, man, we talk this black stuff, and I feel bad because the shit that these women, first of all, these women are gorgeous. They young, tight. They keep themselves light, nice. You understand? And all they want to do is just have a man, and they'll do anything it takes to have it. And they're so kind and sweet and soft, and they're just incredibly pleasant to be around. And I've been over there for 4 days just having at it. You understand what I'm saying? And what I found is, man, it's basically over, man. It's over for the sisters. Listen, the game is over, bro. And I feel bad for saying this.
Wait a minute, Ray. Come on now. Now we're talking optimism, and you're saying that it's over. They have no chance. Come on now.
It's the mother. Listen, bro. The game is over. Because listen, first of all, the shit that impresses us is the most simple shit in the world. That's the crazy shit about it. This is not rocket science that they're teaching. They're not doing anything spectacular. What they're doing is they're being really sweet, soft-spoken, agreeable. They're being really feminine, young and tight, and even the old ones, old and tight. And all they want to do is be sweet and kind, and they'll do anything to do it. Let me tell you something. If that's
come on, wait. It seems like you just can't handle a sister in the States, man. So you running because you can't handle. You're not sure. You running. You can't handle a strong sister in the States. That's what it sounds like to me, Ray.
Hey, let me tell you. Let me tell you something. Hey, let me tell you something. I'm against marriage. Well, I'm against marriage in America. I'm against that shit.
Hello,
for real.
You got my attention.
I'm 100% against marriage in America. I think I've already said this to you before. Cats that get married in the West, I think they're fucking idiots. I said this before, and I will stand on top of that shit. They're rolling the dice. But when you go to a place like this, I'm very well traveled. I don't want to brag, but I'm very well traveled. So this is not new information to me. It only reconfirms stuff that I already knew. It's like a reminder when I came over from over there. And it's like, man, it's game over because these things that these women are doing, man, it's no way that sisters here are going to even try to compete. They rather find a way to make you look bad than to compete with this easy shit. It's like a first grade stuff to do. And these women are doing it like no problem. Soft-spoken, just agreeable, just kind and sweet, just so soft with their touches and talking. Women, it's like I am against marriage. But I understand over there, like real talk, that shit could make me change my mind. I ain't lying at all. That's how powerful that shit is.
This sounds like a bunch of gaslighting and narcissism to me. I mean,
hey, the crazy part is, man, I've been over there for just 4 or 5 days, and these women back to back to back, cause they just like, yo, whatever you need, whatever you want, come over. I will make your life pleasant. It's no yelling. It's it's not like I'm dictating everything, but just on some peaceful shit. These women about that life.
But bro, you're missing it. But hold on, I'm gonna be devil's advocate, right? So I'm gonna be devil's advocate, right? Because I feel like the ladies need a man to help them out, right? So one thing I will say to be devil's advocate, ladies, it is so basically if a man is medium value over here, he's high value once he crossed that border. So
yes, he is.
You can't get mad at a man. All right. Don't you know how like when a man gets drunk a little bit and the drunker the man gets, the cuter the woman gets?
Right.
Yes.
And that's how a lot of y'all women had kids. The guy got a little too drunk and damn it. Like that's how a lot of these women became single moms. Fuck. So it's kind of the same thing. I actually made a post about this, right? It was a post. It says when a black man goes to the yard and it's like my face and then I change into Jeff Bezos. Yeah. I am Jeff Bezos down here. And I feel like what makes black women mad is the fact that, well, if you're not Jeff Bezos here, how you go down there? Because that's just the way it is. Just like if you take your fat ass over to Africa, they will love your fat ass. They love plump women over there. They hate them skinny. So what's the difference? You go to Ghana, they're gonna love your fat ass. I go to the yard, they're gonna love my broke ass. Right. Why can't you be fat in your country? Why can't I be broke in mine and we both be happy?
Hey, but let me ask you a question. I got more on this. True enough, I might be a broad's meal ticket over there. That might be the reason why they're doing it. But even in America, when I'm a woman's meal ticket over here, they still have bad attitudes.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why.
That's crazy shit.
I'm gonna tell you why, bro. Because the government is their man. The government, see, they always nice to the people at the welfare office. You see how feminine a single mom gets at a welfare office? Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Hey, Aaron, that's their code switching. That's their code switching.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all get feminine as hell in that way. I need them food stamps. See, that's what I'm saying. Like in Mexico, let me tell you something, ladies. There's no FAFSA. Hold on. There's no FAFSA. There's no financial aid. There's no grant. All that shit. Yeah, I got my independent education. That comes from men's taxes. Women pay so little taxes, it doesn't even recoup the welfare y'all take. Y'all get taken care of men whether y'all want to believe it or not. That education you got come from our taxes because we pay the most taxes. We pay the most taxes, yet we have the least voters. Women can vote but don't have to go to war.
Right?
Y'all get all this shit. Mm-hmm. Y'all get FAFSA, y'all get financial aid. A woman can be dirt poor. Apply for you could get financial aid to go to college faster. You can get a loan to get a property.
I got questions for based off of my experience. I got questions because this here is a plea to black women. I'm fresh off the boat today, right now, for an hour. I got questions. Me saying something like this, me telling the world or whoever's tuning in, these simple things that can be done that these women are wowing me over, which is really basic ass shit. Doesn't that turn on some sort of competitive thing in you to make you say, hey, look, if these girls doing it, and this is making a man who is completely against marriage. And anybody who's known me any amount of time knows how disgusting I think marriage is in America. Anybody knows that. So if it can make a person like myself, see, Aaron, you just met me. Okay. But if you've known me for any time, you will know me saying the word marriage, it feel like a cuss word. So to make a man like me say, you know what? I'm not taking that out. That's not out of the question now. Right. Coming from a place like that, wouldn't that make a woman? I don't feel as if I'm a scrub. I might be a scrub, but I don't think that I'm a scrub. So you're losing men that you would prefer to have on your roster. So wouldn't you go to yourself, this ain't working. This man is saying this. All these men are saying, why don't we just do this simple shit so we can get our men back? Wouldn't you say, this is going out to the sisters, wouldn't that make you go, I need to cut this shit out. I need to get on the boat too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know that black men are more willing to accept that type of behavior from other races? Let's break it down, okay? When they do that shit, you believe it. You believe it's genuine. You believe it's from the heart, right? A black woman could do that same kind of behavior and you be like, that bitch trying to trick me. She got something up her sleeve. Y'all do it all the fucking time. Y'all sit up there and say, a black woman can literally treat you like a king. And you be like, she trying to fool me. She trying to trick me. I know that's not real. Y'all consistently doubt black women when they do present themselves in that manner. You feel like they trying to trick you. Okay? So then when you go to the other countries, you like, yeah, you know, they genuine. Oh, you know, they keep themselves tight. They do this, they do that. If a black woman keep themselves tight in the States, it happens to me all the time. You on the prowl, right? That's what people tell me. I'm on the prowl. That's the only reason why I keep myself in shape. I'm on the prowl, right? I'm this age. I look like whatever. I ain't gonna say I look the best, but I'm just saying. I'm on the prowl. That's what I'm told. I'm on the prowl, right? And then when I'm being nice, right? And I'm a genuinely nice person, honest to God. I'm opinionated. I'm a strong woman. I do what I gotta do. But I literally am I love to serve. I was raised to serve, right? Any woman in their 40s who was raised in a traditional manner literally was raised to serve, honestly, right? So I literally from a child was raised to serve. I'd love to serve men. But when I go to serve men, I'm trying to trap them. That's how black men treat me. I'm trying to trap you by trying to serve you. But yet and still, a Mexican woman could do the same shit. A Brazilian woman could do the same shit. You could go wherever else to any exotic place, and she's not doing it to trap you. And even if, just out your mouth, Ray, even if she is doing it to trap you, you're willing to accept it. But that same thing, you're not really going to accept from a black woman. That's just my input on that. And that's what I've seen. That's what I've lived.
I get that that's anecdotal. I don't know how true I don't know how true that is broad based, because I know a lot of women who are kind, soft spoken. A lot of them tend to get snatched up pretty quick.
I don't know.
Yeah,
listen, man. I've been dating.
Never said soft spoken. I just said kind.
Well, goddamn! You just took everything away.
You gotta be soft spoken. You gotta know when to turn it on and turn it off, and that's something you have to do for yourself.
Well, yeah, you said all that for this.
I got a deep voice. It only gets so low. I'm sorry. Everything else is there, but the voice don't get soft.
Well, you gotta be extra soft spoken, because ain't you like 5'10"?
Exactly. I'm 5'11". That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you 5'11". Okay. The last thing you do is raise your voice in any kind of way to a man.
All this stuff that y'all talking is really irrelevant. I'm really pleading for real, and I want some real serious answers on this shit. Why in the fuck can I not get sisters to hear my plea? Listen to the passion.
I can hear it. Sound like you about to cry.
You hear me? I'm not playing. Hey, let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not playing at all. You can't hear the men say, we not playing about this shit and y'all fucking around. You can't hear this as a whole. I don't know your particular situation. I don't know the anecdotal evidence that you got. What I know is I've been dating women for a very long time, consistently. And the behavior from this group of women is generally different from this group of women. You can't argue with that when you talk to a whole bunch of men. We're going to pretty much say the same thing. And when I go across the border, it can make someone like myself say, you know what? I understand people getting married. How do you make me say that? How do you make Ray say, I understand this, and maybe I need to open that book up to this possibility? How do you don't just hear that and say, this is devastating on a bigger level than just talking and making a talk show. This is devastating on a whole black level.
What if you bring that same woman to the United States?
Hey, shit, which one? Every one of them did
the one that's acting so nice over there. What if you bring that woman that's acting so nice over there, kissing your feet, soft-spoken, doing everything you want her to do? What happens when you bring her to the United States?
The American women to try to destroy her.
No, she'll destroy herself because her true nature was not to be that for you. Because of her true nature,
I don't think that.
It don't
the
happen
black
like that.
culture is so like we are so behind because we want to be entitled. Nothing's withholding from us. No man can check us. No woman can check us. We can be fat. We can do what we want. We accept it. We can have slut walks. And it's like we're just off the chain. Nobody can tell the black woman anything. And even this man Ray pleading, they would say, "Oh, he's a sucker." And you know what I'm saying? Like they wouldn't even hear. Like I can genuinely hear his voice rattling. Like I'm trying to plead. And even if somebody's pleading and begging, like even a little bit of optimism to say, sisters, can you just do a little bit of this? Can you be a little bit soft-spoken? That would even increase your chances in the sight of a man, which we're trying to get things better. But you can't be mad when they go somewhere else and find it.
Hey, let me give you a little game here. Tamika, Shamika. I think you're a nice person, right? So don't get mad at me when I say this. But I just want to use I want to use something that you said as an example. Maybe this will register. You said I can't speak but so soft because I have a deep voice, right? But if we were let's say me and you, we were like maybe in a church or something like that, and we just happened to be sitting next to each other, and you wanted to tell me something without alerting the whole church, the person in the next pew, whatever. Could you do it?
Yes, but my voice carries. I will say I've been in situations like that.
Right.
And my voice carries. I can literally whisper to you right now. Listen, I'm whispering.
Right.
That sounds good.
Right.
You know what? That works.
But I can see your effort. I can see your conscious effort. It's not but I got a deep voice. So, there's only but so much I can do. You're doing more. If you were in the library, you could do more. If we were walking down the street, crowded street, and it was like a bundle, $1,000 on the ground, right? And it was, several feet away, but you saw it. I guarantee you'd be able to communicate that to me without alerting the crowd. So it's like it's never really I would, but I can't because I got a deep voice or whatever. A person can tell when you're making that effort. And then you talked about bringing the woman over. Well, what's gonna happen when you bring her here? She's gonna be the same woman. She probably gonna be even more happy because you done brought her somewhere. Okay, listen, that's what you know. But okay, hold on. I live across the street from a house with 6 Filipino women in it. And when I tell you, when the dudes come out to cut the grass, they out there busting ass. When they was cutting down trees over there, the women was moving logs. I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know, this is
exactly.
And I'm an electrician. I don't work with a lot of people from, you know, different places. You know, them Guatemalan women be on the job with their husbands. You know? So
I agree.
So coming to America isn't the only thing. Just like if I take a hard-headed woman to a third world country, she's not gonna all of a sudden become submissive and be.
But you know what you're saying?
She's gonna still be Kiki.
You're that basically you're talking about people who are in a cultural bubble. You are not a black man that's getting with a Filipino woman, right? And think she's gonna remain the same. You're talking about Filipino and other races that are basically in a cultural bubble who are continually being fed that same thing, right?
I love that you said that. I love that you said that, but guess what? You're talking to a black man who has dated Filipino women. And when
I know my friend,
did you marry him?
To a black man.
Hold on, did you marry everybody that you dated?
Okay.
Did you marry your Filipino?
Did you marry everybody that you dated?
Hey, let me jump in. Let me jump in. Hold on one second, Rico. Let me say this. We cannot paint everybody with a broad brush and assume that everybody that comes here is going to change. Now, I would say the probability is high that they're going to change, but
it's high.
But they ain't gonna turn into a Jenny from the block.
There are a lot of people who don't want to adopt the American mindset. Matter of fact, surprisingly, there's a lot of women, there's a lot of people who really don't want to move to America. They don't want to move to America because they understand that when you come here, you are going to grind like a damn slave. Like people talk about 6 figures like it's so much money. 6 figures is, when you have a family, 6 figures is not a lot of money. It's okay. It's just good money, but it's not a lot of money. People talk about it like you're like halfway to a millionaire. And the thing is, when you work, even white collar jobs, man, you grind. You're exhausted. You're mentally exhausted on the weekend. I mean, you try to relax on the weekend, but when you go overseas, man, if you're making $30,000, $40,000, let's say you go overseas and you have your business online, you know, similar to what Aaron has, man, you living a good life. You living a real good life.
I work with a Filipina and I love her. I adore her as a person because that's who she was raised to be. And coming to America, she's married to a Haitian man and beautiful family. And she went to work just like a regular person, you know, and what she did is that she used it as an opportunity. A lot of people that come over here often use working as an opportunity to send money back home. And that's not a problem for them because they're just continuing to build, you know what I'm saying? And they go home and she performed her wifely duties. She washed all the clothes, she raised the kids, and now she worked hard with her husband for a period of time. And now he has a job where she don't have to do all that no more. She can sit back, she can focus her energy on the children. And the same thing and the same opportunities are open for us, but I just think that we just don't want to give up that control, you know, sometimes. And I don't know.
Hey, man, listen to me.
Real quick, and then I want to play this clip for you. Go ahead.
Oh, listen. You got to understand when a black man goes to another country, what those women say. He becomes a fucking superhero. When he goes to another country, he's no longer a regular person. I got called exotic. Nobody's ever said I was exotic my whole black ass life.
Right.
I never even heard of that before.
Right.
Who are you even talking to? It's the contrast of our dark skin in comparison to theirs.
Right.
That's incredible. And as a matter of fact, a lot of their parents send them out to come get us.
Right. But you know something though that's funny is that, you know, women, I think all women, even in the United States, women like men who are from different places. So if you go down south and they see guys from LA or guys from New York, like a lot of women will be fascinated with them, right? And to your point, like when you talk about the Philippines, right? In America, the average man is 5'9", and we look at 5'9" as like, okay, you're not that tall, right? I'm 5'10". I don't feel like I'm that tall. But in the Philippines, the average height for a man is 5'4". So if you go over to the Philippines, I mean, it's like the equivalent of all these women asking for a 6-foot man. I mean, because you're like, you're like really tall over there, right? So let me go ahead and play this this video. It's got it from our brother Yes Jonas. It's a sister who is really hating on brothers getting their passport going overseas. Let's take a look.
Okay, by now we're all familiar with the passport bros and their desire to go abroad to get a wife. And most of the girlies were like, okay, bon voyage, I wish you nothing but the best, good luck, bah. But I've been thinking about it lately, and just based on my past experience, I don't want them to go anywhere. Not because I want them or I want y'all to have them. I don't want anyone to have them. I want them to just leave women alone, period.
Wow.
Yeah.
That went left.
Yeah, I mean, but that's pretty much the attitude that a lot of women.
Because she would never be able to pull anybody. Because a dude, they can feel it. They know the vibes. A man is a hunter. They can pick up on a woman. Mm-hmm. For real. And like they said, they put them in a certain category. Okay, I'm going to just smash her, whatever. And then this person, oh, she's a little bit special. I'm going to treat her a little bit different. It's like literally, this is because she can't pull anybody.
But hey, man, listen, that's pathetic, this chick talking. Not you. I'm talking about the video that you just had up. Listen, listen, men chase vagina a lot. I mean, especially when you're young. If I was failing at getting it, as I was in my teens, a big time failing, I was failing on a epic level, right? And I think a lot of young men fail at getting it. But you know what you have to do when you're young and you're failing and you got that need, that desire? You have to learn women. You have to say, what am I doing to fail? And you try different stuff. Whatever it takes to try, you try and try and try until you start figuring out this complex of Rubik's Cube, because that's all women are, is a Rubik's Cube that the colors move every 5 seconds. The colors don't stay in the same spot. Yes. The colors move every 5 seconds. That's how completely complex women are. And men have to figure this puzzle out in order to be successful women, or else we'll end up with blue balls. Because I've had many nights of this. And I ain't the only one, I'm sure. So if we have to spend all this time studying, when women say that this is what they want, when they start showing that this is what they want, you know what people do? They go to the store and get it. They go to the store and get it. If they want you to say this, men say what they need to say to get what they want. Women, for some reason, figure, oh, that's what they want, we'll do the opposite. It is the weirdest shit I have ever seen. And it just adds on to the complexity of women. It's just that, listen, all you have to do is flip on that light switch and you'll get $1 million. Nah, I ain't doing it, but I still want $1 million. That's how women think. And it just seems as if you would snap out of this, and it just tells me that the hypnosis that white people put on us is so strong, and it can't be. It's too late. I honestly believe it's too late. I'm not gonna talk positive about it anymore. I'm tired of hearing about positivity about it, because it doesn't seem as if the needle is moving at all. It seems that the more we complain, the stronger sisters stand on what they believe. And the worse the black community is. So just I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I think sisters in this generation, my generation, my mother's generation, the generations coming up, I think they're lost cause. I think there's game over for them. I just believe that those women are just women we just have to throw away and start over. And like when you're getting beat up, you push reset on the game and start a whole nother game. That's the only thing I could say, because it's not showing any evidence of other. It's not showing women are not changing because of this. They don't give a damn about what we're saying.
Well, I got a video that says I got another video clip that says different, but I'll save it for a minute. I wish Aaron was here. I don't know. He probably had to step away because I wanted to, because he mentioned something about control and how a lot of women want to control men, and so that was one of the this is a question I wanted to ask. That why do you think so many black women want to control black men's access, not only to sex, but to love and affection, right? I mean, these women are going abroad for sexual tryst, for romance, and then they're upset and they have such a hard time dealing with men doing the same thing. Why do you think there's this need to control black men's movement?
Because black people want to be mamas and not spouses, right? That's the bottom line. Because if you want to control a man, you want to be his mama. The only person that should have ever controlled a man in that sense are his parents. You as the woman should not be looking to control a man. And if you want to control a man, you got a mama problem. You've been a single mother too long, right? You think you got to be a man's mama. You got to get away from that.
I think it's a desperation move, because we know that if we can, usurp some control, ain't nobody else checking for us. Latinos ain't checking for us. White men ain't checking for us like we think. Nobody's checking for us but our black men. But we can't even treat them right. So we feel like if we do something in some type of way, we can kind of keep controlling the situation, but it's actually getting out of control.
Yeah, because Stephanie, I don't get that. The least desirable woman on these dating apps is a black woman, and I'm not saying that black men find them, but the men who find you the most desirable and the most beautiful are the men that black women treat horribly. And I don't understand why, because like they will, sisters will have this standard where, the guy has to be 5'10", he has to be 6 foot, but they'll get with the 5'8", make an exception for a 5'8" white guy, or the guy, the brother has to make 6 figures, but they will get with a white guy making $50,000. It's like a black guy, he has to have swag, and they will get with a white dude that's corny. I don't understand why you hold. Why you say what now?
And then act like a Mexican.
Right. So I don't understand. I don't understand why you do this. The guys that find you to be the most attractive, who love you, you make jump through hoops, and you have these high standards that you don't have for anybody else. It doesn't make much sense to me.
It's bad. They know that us women, like you said, there's a lot of systematic things that are against our culture, and it just stems back from so long. And and then the conditions that we came over, where we were separated, torn apart. And it's just, I was looking at a thing called the Willie Lynch letter, right? And there's a specific section in there that says to put the black, it's basically to go against the black woman. Like let's ramble her mind up, let's scramble her all up, because we are the backbones. We do introduce culture. We have a lot of influence, but if we can get that messed up, and then we don't get her to respect her man because we got him over here butt breaking, we embarrassed him and, took his manlyhood. So if we rob the woman of being behind that, he's out there alone, which those men are. And it's still going on till this day. And if we don't take time as black women to go back and see that, wow, I'm buying into this. I'm buying into thinking like a man and acting like a woman. Like, we're just buying into all this foolishness. instead of just, like you said, just keeping it simple with the simple things, because men aren't complicated. We just complicated. We rubric, we crazy. But if we take self-accountability and try to really get to the heart of the matter, and if somebody calls us out on our BS, don't get mad about it. Actually think like, oh, maybe I am a little bit too much, or maybe I'm being too intense, or maybe I am acting like a dude and not like a female. It's just like a lot of self-accountability needs to be taken. And I think the sooner that we can, I don't think everybody's going to do it, but the sooner those, for those that do take accountability, they're going to start seeing different results. Yeah. And that's all we can ask for, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And shit, Guadalajara. Shit. I don't know what y'all gonna do with that. That look like unfair. That's like the Golden State Warriors when they had Kevin Durant. I mean, this is a blowout. It's like, man, I that's the crazy part about it, man. I was thinking like, man, this shit is great, and at the same time, I was going, we're doomed, because if our sisters are doomed and we all black, I mean, we all too. Essentially, and I was just shaking my head like, man, why is this, man, this is crazy. I'm seeing this. I had to tell somebody. I've already called like 20 friends, like, yo, bro, don't come here, bro, because you really ain't gonna come back home. You ain't coming home. I had to go to another job assignment. That's the only reason why I came back. I got to go to work.
Right. I want to play this. 1 second, and then Rico, you go ahead. After Rico, I'm going to play this video, and we'll look at this video, and the sister's offering a heartfelt apology to black men, and then we'll go into our final segment before we close out. So go ahead, Rico.
I was just going to remind people of the good old days when women, the elders used to tell women that you attract more bees with honey. You can't tell sisters that these days. Women elsewhere, because I said sisters, because I guess once when they melanated, but they from somewhere else, they not sisters for whatever reason. But whatever, these sisters over here, you can't tell them that. They say I shouldn't have to be nice. I shouldn't.
That's right. That's right.
Back in the days, they told the women, "Hey, you attract more bees than honey."
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Rico, let me ask you something. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you got two women. One of them is, both of them beautiful, but one of them is a whole lot more aggressive in trying to get what she wants from you. The other one is a whole lot more friendly and soft and feminine and agreeable. Which one of them women will make you fold first?
The agreeable one is definitely the highest bidder by far.
Exactly.
Outbid the other one.
Exactly. So what sisters don't really know is you really can get almost anything you want from a cat.
Anything.
You pull that card. It's very hard as a man it's really hard as a man to see a woman being feminine like that and soft and just so soft spoken. You want to protect her. You want to. I wish a motherfucker would. That's how you are with a woman.
Exactly.
That's how you are with a woman that makes you feel like a man. I wish that I don't want you to even work that hard. I will do anything for a woman like that. And this makes their life easier. They don't have to work as hard. I'll give her anything that she wants as long as she's this. And even with that being said, oh, look at my hand shaking, bro.
You're married.
Bro, yes.
Why wouldn't the person want that every day?
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't I? I don't know, man. Play. Hey, Rick, hey, go on, take that, man. I ain't got no more time.
Are we gonna get some more from the pursuit of clappiness?
No. This
Were
is
they going over to get their cheeks clapped?
No, yeah, this is
pursuit of clappiness.
This is a sister who is giving a heartfelt apology to the brothers. She's trying to tell the brothers that you don't have to go overseas. That sisters are now trying to work on themselves. Let's take a look at this.
Okay, I'm aware that this may gain some attention, so I want to clarify and express some things. I want to utilize my platform as positively as possible, and I try to be level-headed and considerate of both sides. Okay, men want traditional women to marry. That is why they're going to other countries. Look, y'all desire something so bad that y'all want to step, and baby, look, I ain't mad at you, okay? Truly, I do not blame the escape because a lot of American chicks' priorities are messed up. We are greedy, selfish, ungrateful. We can't be held accountable. We have this exploitative, transactional mindset, and we're obstinate. I'm not saying every chick here is that way, but from what I've witnessed and what's transpired in my life, talking to my peers, colleagues, family, and what I see on social media and TV, let me just say, American chicks are on a low vibrational wavelength, and a lot of us champion toxic behavior. I mean, look at TikTok. But what is problematic is this frequent habit or proclivity of Black men denigrating their women in the process when they're talking about their preferences. Listen, there are a lot of us reclaiming our image, advocating for men, reflective of issues, holding ourselves accountable. You know, we're trying to comprehend our men and unlearn toxic habits and behaviors, whether that's relationship skills, poor money management, you know, undesirable relationship skills, you know, our health, whatever needs work. A lot of us are trying to counter the stereotypes. Let me just say this, I am sorry if I were insensitive in the prior videos. I took time to understand what I misunderstood. I can't lie though. I'm disheartened because I love my men. I welcome my men. You know, I need my men in every way possible for protection, provision, procreation, problem solving. I don't care what these hurt chicks say. Black man, you are valuable. And I am adamant, very adamant about Black love, building the Black family, and we need you.
So the sister is, she's given a heartfelt apology. She says that she apologized to Black men for her insensitivities in prior videos. She said that, you know, she loves us, you know, that she needs us. She says that we're valuable and that she speaks for, you know, like, I guess, a growing number of women who are trying to reclaim their image. So, Rico, I'm going to start with you and then open it up to the rest of the panel is, in your words, can you tell me how you feel this passport bro phenomenon has changed the conversation between men and women?
Well, I don't think that we would have heard anything like that prior to women being, you know, alerted to the fact that a lot of brothers are doing it, are you know, going abroad. You know, I see that, you know, something has definitely lit a fire, you know, but I still have a problem with part of the language though, because she did say, you know, like basically, hey, you know, I understand what you're doing, but don't talk bad about the sisters here, right? But I don't think that that's really being fair, because that's saying that I can't speak on my experiences, right? I can't say if I go marry Margaret or whatever from wherever, and they say, well, why you marry her? And I go, well, you know, I tried with American women and my experience was less than favorable. Then they say, oh, well, you know, you a simp and you talking bad about, no, I'm talking about my experiences. They were less than favorable for whatever reason, because even if I was a simp, which I think I am a simp, you know, in some sense of the word. If I'm a simp, if I'm a cornball, if I'm broke or whatever, that doesn't suggest that I don't deserve to be with someone, especially if me just stepping outside of this little box that I've been in shows me that all of those things that you find not so appealing are very appealing to a large group of people. So as the saying goes, I should go where I'm celebrated, not where I'm not even tolerated. Like, golly, I'm not even tolerated. Most of us just wanted to be tolerated. Tolerated, you know. So, you know, I'm glad that sisters. I mean, I knew that brothers was doing this for a long time. I never did it, probably because I'm lazy, or feet to EIE or whatever. But I knew they were doing it. But I didn't know that sisters finding out about it would be so impacted, because I didn't think that they cared about most of the types of dudes that was doing it anyway. I thought I was a little player. I thought I was a player for a long time, but then I realized I got old. You know what I'm saying? It's like an old record or something. You know, you get a bunch of scratches and stuff. Like, ain't enough nickels to hold the needle down. You know what I'm saying? I'm a broken record now. So I wish I went and jumped on a plane when I was, 30 years ago. I wish I would have, but too late now. I mean, well, not too late, but I can't go back to being 20 and 25 and 30.
It's okay, Rico.
So,
it's okay.
Yeah. I want to hear from the rest of the panel, man. Chime in as to what, in your words, why you think this is, or if you think this has changed the conversation between men and women.
Man, first of all, I don't think this changed nothing. Anybody can make a 3-minute video and sound sincere, but to change decades of programming, and that's all that happened to our sisters, is they've been programmed by white people. And I'm gonna say it just like that. White people did a good job at programming us, and because our women are not, they weren't born like that. When we came from our continent, they weren't like that. When they came to white people, they got programmed, and they were just victims of it. So to make a video that's 3 minutes long, yeah, you can sound all sweet and have a cute voice and everything. When it's time to change that programming that's been going on for decades of your life, that's a completely different monster. It sounds real good to say, "Oh, I'm sorry." But when you put the pedal to the metal, now what are you gonna do? And I don't believe it. I don't think it's just that easy to change your mental programming. I don't
then why should she apologize to you, Ray? Why should anybody apologize to you if you're not willing to accept their apology?
She should not apologize, because her actions are more important than apology. I don't care about what she does. I don't care about sisters apologizing. What are you gonna do now?
Ray,
you're not gonna do it.
Ray. First of all,
part of the dialogue.
You can hear her quivering, her voice quivering, and not only that, she had on a blanket, Ray. She had on a blanket.
A prayer cloth.
A blanket.
So
even if she's lying, though, it's just the fact that she was willing to say it, and more people will be willing to say it. Like, it hasn't even been part of the dialogue for so long that even if she's insincere, I'm just glad to hear it. Now, am I going to put my cape on and go save her? No. But I'm glad to hear it.
The narrative
still got to go to Zamunda, wherever you said.
Let me bring in Mika. So, Mika, I know you felt that the sister was being sincere, right?
No, exactly. Thank you, Mika.
Wow.
This is the thing, right?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
The whole thing about an apology, right? The whole thing about an apology is that, just like I tell my children this. I say, I don't need you to tell me sorry. I don't need you to apologize to me. I need you to change your behavior. Mm-hmm. If you can't change your behavior, don't tell me nothing. Just don't tell me nothing if you can't change your behavior. I literally tell that to my children, okay? So I get it. I get it. And I think this conversation was great because it kind of put in a bow what Black women are doing wrong as far as being, immovable, unpliable, right? And a lot of these Black women say they're Christians, right? But, it talks about God treating his children like pottery, right? You have to be able to be shaped to be in the form of something more excelling or more excellent than what you are in your present state, right? And this is for people who say they're Christians. I'm not a Christian, but I know the Bible, right? So when you're saying these things about what a man needs to be and what he needs to achieve and how much better he needs to be, and that's something that I'm going to take from this conversation tonight. My voice can get softer in certain circumstances, right? Especially when it comes to the bedroom, if we're going to be honest, right? So there is times when your voice can get softer, baby. You're going to have to do it in more than just the bedroom. You're going to have to take it into other places, right? You're going to have to humble yourself, right? Because bottom line is, Black women is bending over left and right for dick. I don't mean to be crass, but in all ways, right? They are completely submissive when it comes to the bedroom. They want to be completely dominated when it comes to the bedroom. But when they get outside the bedroom, everything falls away, right? So I would say this is my recommendation to Black women. Practice what you practice in the bedroom outside the bedroom. Try to take some of those same things as far as submission and the dominance in men and what you desire men to do to you in the bedroom. Take it outside of the bedroom, right? Adopt some of them things of knowing when to shut up. Because, man, when he tell you shut up, when he grab your throat, you in there, right?
Man, look at that. Oh, look at that.
God's on the truth, right? And all the Black women that's gonna be watching this, they're gonna be like, baby, right? Right. The Holy Spirit gonna be the grabber, right? As far as that, right? So I will say this. I hope men, I believe, and this is with every ounce of my being, having 3 sons of my own, I believe Black men deserve every happiness, right? So no matter where they get it, they 100% deserve it, okay? So whether it's with Black women, whether it's abroad, whether it's here, I don't care where it's at. They just need to find their happiness, right? And this is the thing, and this is where I struggle. I'm gonna be very honest. I don't want to give a person a fallacy. I don't want to give a person a dream of me being something, being ridiculously soft, being ridiculously soft-spoken. Because guess what? If I present that to you, you just gonna divorce me later. We gonna end up breaking up somehow because what I'm presenting to you is not real. And in that, I can kind of resonate with my other Black sisters who saying, look, I have to be who I am to find who loves me as I am, because I can only put up this farce for so long. And that's why we are getting divorced in droves, because there was many women that was taught by their older women, this is how you act to get a man. So they acted that way long enough to capture the man, to marry the man, but they always had to revert back to who they were inside, honestly, right? So I would say this, if you can't honestly, and this is something I've had to say for myself, I cannot honestly speak soft all the time. I cannot honestly, not have an opinion about anything a majority of the time, right? Because I've had too much life experience. And that's why I get men who want immature women or they want younger women, because they haven't had much life experience to speak on. So when a man go to lead, a man just lead, because you don't have very much experience to try to say, no, don't do that. I tried that 5 years ago, right? A man don't want to hear that. A man just want to do what a man gonna do, right? And then he'll watch a commercial that said the same thing you just told him 5 years ago, and he'll listen to the commercial. But I'm gonna end it there. I think look, black man, find your happiness anywhere and everywhere, right? I be it far from me to stand in your way, and I think that black people as a whole need to stop being so dependent on each other for happiness, honestly, because we're broke. Both of us, both men and women, black women, we broken. We'd have been through so much. We'd have been through so much brainwashing. We'd have been through so much that when we try to come together and heal each other, it's almost impossible because we are both both of us are almost like beyond repair. And trust me, I believe in black love. But at this moment in time and the way society is and how selfish people are, I believe you do got to step outside of yourself. Oh my God, I never thought I was going to say this. Divest.
So you remember when Mika, you remember when Dave Chappelle used to say he used to do the whole series of when keeping it real goes wrong?
Right.
Right. That's like that's kind of what it's like. Like you say you can only keep it up for so long, but I don't think what you're considering is like, okay, if you find a man that is like strong enough that his ego doesn't suffer some type of blow when you base up because it's just natural within you and you forgot to turn that side of you off. When you find that man, you're probably gonna find a dude who chokes you because he like choking people rather than the dude who chokes you because you like to be choked. Or the dude who shakes you because he likes shaking people rather than the dude who shakes you because you like to be shaken. You know what I'm saying? So you got to remember, because dudes, we go against our natural nature all the time for women. We get emotional and get mad and talk loud and rah. And every dude is like, man, I wish this was a dude right now because I could just, you know, like we got to go against our nature all the time.
I don't do that shit.
Kept it real, it's going to go wrong. So it's the same thing. And I'm going to give you an added perk. I follow this doctor on YouTube. Her name, Dr. Rachel Ross. It's a sister. And like her whole career revolves around like men's sexual functions, right? So she got this whole video talking about how much more gains your man has when he likes you as opposed to when he doesn't. So basically when you're at full, when you full power, right? Mm-hmm. Full power when he don't like you is like can be up to almost like 3/4 of an inch smaller than full power when he actually likes you. When you feel like he's the man.
Wow. 100%.
So it's like, and then you can look Dr. Rachel Ross, and you can look it up. Other studies say the same thing. When a man doesn't like you, but he just got to get that thing off or whatever, he just doing his duty. It's different than when he really like you. Also, not that, women in their 40s want this or whatever, but sperm count goes up, blood flow to that area goes up. Just all kinds of other things happen when you make your man feel like he the man. Because I know that it's a skill to turn it off, but some women can do it. Some women can, because I've found out some women were just letting me think I was the man before, and I was like, wow, she's good.
But that was a trick, though. That was a trick.
Yeah, but it wasn't though.
I wouldn't dare.
She was doing
like that's bad. That's like their sexuality. I would never make them feel any less in that moment. Like
But it's not just in the moment. It's not just in the moment. Like, I had this one girlfriend, I used to drive around all the time, right? And I used to be thinking, you know, I was the man, you know, I'm driving around, let me show her my driving skills or whatever, right? But she was so feminine that I just never even thought of not driving. But one day, she drove. Like, it didn't even matter if we were in her car, I drove. One day she drove, and she was driving, and I was like, damn, she could drive, right? And she started going through all these cuts, and I was like, where the heck is she going? And I was like, babe, where you going? And she started, I got it. I said, okay. Well, she started going all these other alternative routes to get to places that we went to all the time. And I was like, well, how come she never told me this? And then I thought about it, and I was like, she knew how to let me be the man. She didn't bother me. She didn't say, some women just can't help themselves. They'll say, why you ain't turn right here? Why you ain't go right? Why you could have went, oh, this light take too long. I don't want to sit at this light. She never did.
Because they got to be mommy.
She never did that.
I should control.
She did other things, but in that regard, she let me be the man.
Yeah.
You know? And it made a difference. It made a difference in a whole lot of other areas, but it manifests itself in the bedroom. Like, what happens in the bedroom, like when women say it, it happens for the men too. It starts way before the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Hey,
mental.
man, listen, man, I ain't seen my house in over a month now. I'm about to go in here and let y'all freaks talk.
Well, Ray, we closing out. I'll go ahead and start with you. I want you to give your final thoughts and whether you think that is it over for us? If we can't get this together, what does it mean for the black community writ large? Go ahead. I'll start with you.
It means exactly what white people wanted it to mean: the destruction of the black community, and that's all it is to it. It's over. The ball has rolled too far down the hill. Programming, and it's already happened. Decades of it. It's no way you could just change a person's programming after their whole life they've been raised to believe something. That's almost impossible to do. That's a very hard thing to do. And unfortunately, the baby boomer generation initiated a lot of this stuff. Generation after that generation, it's just going to continue to perpetuate it because they're teaching their daughters to be the same way. And they really believe they stand on something when they say it. They really believe they stand on the passion in their eyes when they're saying it. So I don't believe it's a way to come back from it. I honestly think we're doomed. That's just my opinion. It's not a positive opinion, but
no, it's not.
I haven't seen anything to prove me otherwise. I haven't seen anything, and the stronger we disagree, look, this whole story that I told, this whole story I told, all the soliloquies that I told before, it doesn't make our women say, it doesn't. They don't care. They don't give a damn about that. It makes them stand stronger on their beliefs, and they feel like they standing for something for some reason. Meanwhile, I'm taking me and my assets overseas to someone that don't look like me, that's gonna wash my balls when I say so. So you can keep on with that, but hey, listen, I'm gone. Ain't no way to get me back. But it ain't no way that you gonna do. I'm sorry, man. I have nothing positive to say. After seeing all these women do all these things for a black man, and every country that I've been to, they do the same thing, and then coming back over here, then I'm just a less than regular guy. I'm less than regular over here. Man, fuck it. It's too late. It's too late. It's just everybody, listen, let's just hope to God that more men don't catch on to this and don't be lazy and go get their passport. Because if I'm gonna say, if more brothers did this shit, they will have to change a law to keep us from going over there. That's how cold they are over there.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I didn't mean to interrupt your closing, but there's a sister on this YouTube channel called For Harriet. She's a black feminist, and she's urging. she's urging that they push for laws to curtail some of these brothers from going over there.
Oh,
I wish I had clipped that. But let me go ahead and go to the rest. Just we'll keep our closing short. Rico, what do you think? Do we is it over for us, man? I mean, what does this mean for the community if we can't get it together?
Well, what I think is that this is a great thing, and when you say us, it depends on what you mean when you say us, because like if Ray go to Mexico and start a family or 3 families, it just spreads us out even more. It's just, to me, it strengthens us as a people. If we look at ourselves as a people outside of just a people of of this continent, it strengthens us as a people, because now we become global. You know what I mean? We're not just isolated from the rest, because like everybody else in the whole world looks at us as like African American, and like we don't have to be African American. We could just be like melanated people everywhere. We don't have to be African American, and it might be over for a generation, but I think after a couple of years, it's a lot of young girls saying, "Hey man, I don't want to do what my auntie did." So I think that's a good thing. Mm. And then as far as auntie, when she started bringing the honey, and then she might get old Clyde, Mm-hmm. Some of us dudes old, man. I'm 51 years old, man. I ain't, she come with some tea and you know what I mean? She might give me. I've been known to be pushed over before, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mika walk in with her with the soft voice, and with her 5'11" and everything. Golly, that's a heck of a proposition. I mean, with the soft voice. I mean, it ain't got to be all the way hopeless, but it is time they wake up. It's time we all wake up. We needed to do it, not just out of spite, but I think that sisters I think every sister want to look at her man and know he can get it somewhere else. That's what make her want to give it to you more. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She gotta know you can get it. When you just sit down and get too comfortable and she know you can't go nowhere, you get what you get. Mm-hmm. You get what you get. So I mean, the brothers want to know the same thing too. You want to know your woman fine. What a brother want to know is that he's not likely to get better treatment elsewhere. And even if he could find better treatment, if he already got it, we usually be good. But most of us brothers, we don't know what it's like to be catered to like that. So, when my good sister was saying that, I was just like, I don't know a whole lot of brothers that got catered to like that. Maybe on our birthday or something like that. Maybe on our birthday. But I ain't been catered to like that. On occasions I have. But I ain't had nobody that kept it up. They just, it was a setup. Brothers know when the woman come in there with that sweet tone, she wants something. That honey-do voice. Man, what do you think about? We know what that is. We know you're gonna be nice when you want me to sign the papers for that vacation. We know that voice. But why that's not the voice all the time? Why the question is, why is it so easy for us to detect? She done switched up. Something up. That's why we know what the trap smell like. Right. You did it all the time, you wouldn't even have to ask us for the nice things. We'd be trying to throw them at you.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So, Mika, what are your thoughts? I know you're a little bit more optimistic. You What are your thoughts?
I can't even say that. I think that just as being a Black woman who has literally only ever dated, slept with Black men, I think that, honestly, I would say I'm getting tired of being treated with suspicion, right? This is not the time to have a golden heart. This is not the time to be true or to even cater, because, I was married for the longest time. I literally have been in long-term relationship after long-term relationship for my entire life. All I know is how to treat a man like I'm in a relationship. I don't even know how to do casual, right? Mm-hmm. But even just, I'm thinking and just me being a person who's dating, oh, you sick, or you said something wrong with your stomach. Oh, okay, well, ginger beer is really good. I could drop you some ginger beer that, over there, blah, 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 blah. Black men treat that with suspicion. They think you're only doing good for them because you are trying to catch them up in something. You're trying to force them into a relationship. They don't even know how to be treated well, right? I would venture to say that. And that's something that I have seen just as a person. I ain't trying to put no strings attached. That's just who I am. I see how men act when I treat them that way, right? And I have a deep voice, but my deep voice is not undercutting men and second guessing every single thing they do. And, I'm talking loud and I'm talking over them. That's not how I was raised, and I can't speak for a majority of Black women. I hear Black men saying that Black men, Black women want to undercut them and they want to, they sneaky and they this and they that and whatever, right? But all I can go by is my genuine experience. And my genuine experience says that Black men are not ready to receive the kind of love they want from Black women. They treat it with suspicion. They don't trust it. So when we're talking about going across to other countries, honestly, that's what I talk about with my friends. My friends consistently tell me, you need to get somebody that's not American. Consistently. That's consistently what we talk about amongst ourselves, because we have burned so many bridges between each other as American Black folks that we're consistently going to treat each other with suspicion. So all I would say is, if you are going to divest to Afro-Latino, Afro-Asian, you know what I mean? Because there's an Afro in every culture, okay? And they're not hard to find, right? There's Black people in Australia. There's Black people in Philippines. There's Black people in Japan. There's Black people everywhere you go. So if you are going to divest to another culture, try to make it an Afro part of that culture, right? Because that's how we're going to start rebuilding and beginning to trust. Maybe it's not our generation that trusts each other. Maybe it's our children's generation that trusts each other. Maybe it's not our children, but it's our grandchildren who begin to actually trust each other, that each other's intentions are good, because that's the only way we're going to recover from the issues that we have right now.
Right. Well, Stephanie, because everybody's just bringing us down. They're bringing us down, Stephanie. So give me some optimism. You feel like this is it? If you feel like we can turn this thing around, or is it too little, too late when it comes to brothers getting passports and going overseas?
Well, you can't make grown people do what they don't want to do. But I'm an optimistic woman all the way to the grave. Okay. Everybody likes a good comeback story. I honestly think if maybe not, we can't reach everybody collectively, but I'm going to keep trying. That's why I got on and did the Wife School podcast, because I'm kind of optimistic about, finding love. I prefer to be with a Black man, but okay. Well, okay. this is my take on it. Well, if I can't beat them, if I can't beat, the women, I'm gonna join them. I'm gonna see what they're doing because they eyeing our men. They're studying them. So why not study their characteristics that they're just so attracted to and just apply it to my life? There's nothing wrong with that. There's like absolutely nothing wrong with improving yourself, improving your chances to obtain the love or obtain the affection or obtain the protection and provision of a Black man. I mean, we know each other's struggles or whatever, and as a culture, but I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard battle because you're not just battling people, you're battling systems, you're battling governments, you're battling people that don't have our best interests, you're battling consumerism that want to keep women in this perpetual lie and entitlement. But there has to be people that are left, that are optimistic, that are for the culture and that are going to push it. And I'm part of that. But I say we got to do the work and that we just can't expect our men to receive trash. Mm-hmm. We can't expect them to receive our leftover behavior, our bad habits from past relationships. And you know what I mean, I know you said, Mika, that men treat you with suspicion, but you can probably be projecting that onto them too. They probably not being suspicious by you thinking that they're suspicious. They're like, what's up with her? So we can't project our insecurities, our, ways of thinking about relationships onto the next person that may give us all the things that we want. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just optimistic. I'm holding on to the ship. Mm-hmm. I don't care if the wind splashes me on my face. I'm still optimistic. I believe we could, but everybody, I don't say we're not gonna get everybody, and definitely not the older women. Unfortunately, they do suffer. I see my aunts and things, and they're by themselves, and I'm like, dang. And I asked them, I was like, you don't have any nice fellas, that you can talk to? Or they're like, girl, please. I'm like, oh, well, you ain't gonna rub that off on me because I want somebody, and the people that are more up to my situation as being a single mother are the older men. So I can't be all over the place. I gotta be a wife. You know what I'm saying? I've been a wife, but I gotta be a wife and know that they can be a little stuck in their ways sometimes, a little stubborn. But I can add a little spice and make it nice and rub their feet and whatever whatever that agreement allows. And I'm just optimistic, and hopefully more people will be that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I thought it was a great conversation. I'm gonna end with my 2 cents. I do believe it's important for us to come together to work to build a community, but it almost seems as though that community is fractured. I have my suspicions. I think a lot of it, people don't talk about it, but I think a lot of heterosexual women are influenced by the attitudes of members in the LGBT community towards heterosexual Black men. I think there's a hostility towards heterosexual Black men and we don't want to be honest about it. If you look at a lot of these magazine articles, these news articles, they're written by people from that community that said, oh, just stay single. Everything around you is encouraging you to stay single, or to encourage you to not be cooperative. Because at the end of the day, men are fairly simple. If I have somebody who is not argumentative and I have somebody who has my back, right? Has somebody who's not high maintenance, it's easy. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie to you, but a lot of men are lazy. You get to a certain point, man, you got a good woman, you're like, I'm good with what I have, despite what everybody is telling you. It's the reason why a lot of guys don't leave marriages. When guys get married, they stay married, right? There's a reason why 70 to 80% of all divorces are initiated by women. By educated women, it's 90%. Guys believe in, hey man, we got to, get married, you stay married, you keep the family together. It's cheaper to keep her, because you understand that feeling of happiness is fleeting, right? You talk to any married couple who's been married for 40, 50 years, there was a period in their marriage where they couldn't stand each other, where they hated each other, probably for more than a decade. And then they got older and they realized, you know what? I'm glad you stuck it out with my crazy ass. You know, I'm glad I'm glad I stuck it out with you, because at the end of the day, again, that happiness is a fleeting, is a fleeting emotion, and there's ebbs and flows to relationships. So we'll see what happens with this passport bro phenomenon. I will say that I am pro passport bro. Even though I believe that we should build a community, because I feel like it changes the conversation, right? There's no more sense of entitlement. You know, sometimes in a negotiation, you have to be willing to back up and walk away from the table to make the other side realize that you're not playing any games. You're not fucking around, you know? And so that is why I'm pro passport bro. Let these guys go over. Once they go overseas and they see how they're treated overseas, even if they marry sisters back here in the States, they're going to know that, hey, man, there's certain shit I'm just not going to take, because I know I don't have to take it. Yeah. And this is new for a lot of brothers. And so I say, hey, more power to the passport bros. But ultimately, I hope that this forces us at some point back to the negotiation table, and there's no more saying that I refuse to settle or refuse to compromise coming from sisters. So, well, that is our show for now. That's our time for now. For those of you still in the chat, be sure to click the like, share, and subscribe button. I want to thank all of our panelists who were here today. Aaron the Mogul, Ray, Rico the Plug, Mika, and Wife School. I'll be sure to put their contact information in the description box. Until next time, be sure to keep an open mind, think for yourself, and stay lit. AK on fire.